Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm glad you're here. Welcome back. We're having a discussion. I'm going to show, I want to show you that a heavy lift drone, a real heavy lift drone, one that can pick up a 1,000 pound payload, is completely feasible and do it in a series of videos in an incremental way, um, step by step. And this is a test stand. For the big one, this would need to be a 1,200 horsepower or 2,000 horsepower diesel engine, but a 300 horsepower engine would be fine for the beginning. And this is the test drone with the 6 propellers. And I already have found an electric version of this that can lift 200 kilograms per propeller. So that's 1,200 kilograms, about 2,400 pounds. And we can put it on this test stand and get it up into the air. And these are some test arrangements that I put together for doing horizontal thrust testing on the propeller itself. And you can see this stand, it pivots when the propeller creates thrust, it pivots the final connection point, which is this pillow block bearing here. And as this moves this back and forth, it squeezes this beam against this force meter. And that's all that's going on. And this is the testing for horizontal thrust, and there's one over here for vertical thrust. And the other thing I was considering was to put this on a traveling rig so you could get some airspeed values and altitude values. The way this works, this is a close-up of the propulsion system, the modulation of the RPM. This is the Allison 250 engine. That's 300 horsepower. We need to be able to control the RPM of the propeller, and the propeller is pushed by these hydraulic motors, and it needs to be controlled in a very precise, reliable manner where you really have control of it and you don't have to worry about it not being controlled. And I wanted to do that with a linear actuator using the ball nut ball screw system, which is what I've got here with a servo motor on it. And what it does is it moves this valve stem up and down, and that occludes the flow. So you can see that the input flow goes through here and out to the motor, and the return from the motor goes here, and you can use your linear actuator to move these controls up and down. And as they move up and down, they add occlusion to this flow channel. And this was the linear actuator that I had decided to use. And this is all in key shot. This is the full view of it with the servo motor here turning some gears, and the gears turn a ball nut. That's the, let's see, the ball nut is down in here. And, oh, well, no, wait, here it is. It's down this way. It's right in there. And this is a axial radial stabilized thrust ball bearing that keeps the ball nut so it can't go anywhere. All it can do is turn. There's the ball nut inside of this raceway. I made the raceways this pink color so you can see there's a raceway down here and a raceway up there, and these two pieces fit together. And when you pull this thing together, the ball nut, it can turn, but it can't go up and down. It can't go back and forth. It's a radial axial stabilized ball bearing, thrust bearing, but it needs to be oiled. And so I had to work on that. I just was investigating the ball nut and ball screw system. That's what this is. This is my little representation of a ball nut, and this is the ball screw. I just forgot to notice that it needs to be oiled. So I've been working on putting together oiling for it, and that's what I'm going to show you. And of course, I do like to see what we have going. This is the desktop background, the black heron canopy feeding from Bing. And I think that's so appropriate because it's kind of obscure. I'm going to get this put completely together, but it's been a while. If you want to make a design that works, and it's probably going to work, it's reliable, strong, it can be made with parts that already exist. It takes a while to get all that straight. And so it's taking longer than I thought. That's what I've been doing. So let's see what we have here. And I do like to put this in. Of course, welcome. I really am glad you're here. It's a discussion. I do have a YouTube channel. I will try to send these videos to YouTube. I do have a website. And then the heavy lift drone is not, I do talk about robots, but this is not about a robot. So you go to the menu and then you go here, not about a robot, then you go to heavy lift drone. And that's where it is. And this stuff is big enough and strong enough that people could get hurt. Any physically real object could hurt somebody. If you are managing a physically real object, my advice is to manage it in a manner that is legally allowed and reasonable and safe. And if you can't manage it in that way, my advice is do not create it as a physically real item. Okay, and so here's where we are now. This is in SketchUp, so I haven't made it beautiful yet by going out to KeyShot. I discovered with Autodesk Fusion, you can go to McMaster Car and insert parts from McMaster Car into Autodesk Fusion. They're step files, and then you can take those step files in Autodesk Fusion and export them as SketchUp items. So I have all my little parts here. And what I've done is I've taken and this is a Divolo pump that I've found. It's a gear pump. And I'm not quite done with it yet, but this is going to be a tank that has the oil in it. And this pump is a single inlet pump. Now we're going to get rid of this tank real quick so that it's easier to see. But that's where so that's where the oil is going to go in, and then the oil comes back out. And there's two places in this device that need to be oiled. One place is the gears that from the servo motor. And so here is the servo motor, and this is a pool of oil that I'm going to keep here. And what happens is this is connected to the ball nut. So this spins one way and then it spins the other way. When it spins one way, this goes that way. And when it spins the other way, it goes. So this is going back and forth like this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And each time it changes direction, since this pump is connected to this system, it pushes oil out of here. And then when it turns the other way, it pushes oil out of there. And I'm going to take this oil line and connect it over here to the gear head, because that's one place that needs oil, and the other oil line is going to be connected up here to the to feed down into the parts of the ball nut ball screw system. And I'll explode those out a little bit, and you can see it's all put together. Let's change the view. Okay, so we'll take a look at this. All right, so this is the ball nut ball screw system, and you can see that I put holes in here. So when the oil comes down, the oil is pumped up here and goes down into there. Okay, it's going to flow from a channel down into here. And as it flows down into here, it will come into these holes and it will continue to flow down until it gets to this ball nut. And at the ball nut, the way that the ball nut is interacting with the ball screw, there's room there for the oil to come through. And if there's any oil left over, it'll just splash out. And the effect of this when it splashes out is that the oil, see, here's the ball screw here. So this oil from this pipe, one of these pipes, comes up, goes across here, goes down there, and flows under the force of gravity down here to the bottom of this tank where this pump suctions it up. And the same is true. I put an opening here in this connection between the servo motor and its gear head. There's a window right here so that you can see that this thing is turned sideways, but this is actually down is going to be that way. So this thing, when the drone is running it, it's going to be pointed with this up and that down. And so all of the oil comes across here. I have a little propeller in here. This will be a pool of oil in there, and this propeller will spin around and splash the oil all over everything, which is a perfectly acceptable method for moving oil around. And if there's excess oil in there, then that will spill out through this window. And when it spills out through this window, again, remember gravity is that way, it will go back down here to the bottom. And the other thing I had to do is I changed the way this, again, it's a rotating ball nut that can't move, and we have an unrotating ball shaft that can move. And so the ball shaft moves back and forth like this. And what I've done is it has a total movement of 2 inches. So I drew it in here and here, and we have this little precision potentiometer. That's a IP68 potentiometer, so it can be in this oil environment. And then when this moves back and forth, it rotates this by about 70 degrees, which will give the CPU just a feeling for what's going on. The CPU doesn't need it to be any more accurate than that, because what the CPU is really paying attention to is the tilt of the drone, not necessarily the position of this. And I'm going to get this all put together, and then I'll get it pretty for you. But I thought I would show you all that. It took a little longer than I thought, but what have you ever seen that did not take a little longer than you thought? And she is pointing to the clock, telling me I have taken longer than I should have taken. So, oh, and I will send this out as an FBX when I get it all settled. And that way you can upload it to your 3D drawing program. Now, she's really waving her hand saying you are done. So we'll stop.